Okay, so we're just going to start out by warming up on all fours. We're going to find a nice neutral flat back, and then on the next exhale, push down into the mat with your hands, arch spine up towards the ceiling. Inhaling, dropping belly down towards the mat, arching the spine the other way. So going nice and slow here, just taking a chance to synchronize breath and movement. Giving yourself the chance to really notice how your spine is feeling as you move your back in each direction. And then coming back to a neutral spine, we're going to inhale, send the right fingertips forward, send the left toe tips back. Exhale, bringing elbow and knee to knee underneath the body. Inhaling, reaching away. Couple more times. And then next time you stretch the arm and leg forward and back, either stay here or reach hold, catch hold of the top of the foot, stretching it up towards the ceiling. So you're actively pushing that foot away from you at the same time as drawing it in with the hand. One more breath. And then replacing hands and knee down, same thing on the other side. So inhaling, stretching, fingers, toes away. Exhaling, bringing them to meet underneath the body. Next time you stretch, fingers, toes away, either staying here or again reaching back, catching hold of the top of that foot, pushing foot up towards the ceiling at the same time as drawing it in with the hand. And then releasing hands and foot down. Just coming to a high plank position and gently walking the feet up towards the top of the mat. We're going to take the feet slightly wider than hip distance apart. Squat down nice and low here. Keep that spine nice and long. And then on the next inhale, sweep arms up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, squatting down. So we're just starting to warm up the hips, the legs. Exhaling, sinking down. Inhaling, reaching up towards the ceiling. Each time you come down, just see if you can squat a little bit lower. Find a little bit more depth. And then coming to stand, paralleling feet off at the top of the mat. We're going to interlace the fingers behind the back, roll those shoulders back, and then exhale, folding forward. From here we're going to release both hands down towards the top of the mat, step back to a high plank position. And then exhale, lower through cracks. Inhaling into our upward facing dog position. And then exhale, roll over the toes, pushing back, downward facing dog. We're just going to take 5 breaths here. So thinking about squeezing those heels down towards the mat and thinking about spreading fingers nice and wide, pushing belly towards thighs here. On the next inhale, send the right leg high towards the back of the room. Keep those toes flexing down towards the mat. The hips are closed, just squeezing that right glute. And then exhaling, stepping the foot up towards the top of the mat. We're going to inhale, coming to stand, stretching fingertips nice and high. That back leg is straight, pushing out through that back heel. And then grounding down through the back heel, we're going to take the right elbow onto knee. Inhale, fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, stretching those fingertips away from you. So again, trying to find that straight line from fingertips down the side of the body and out through that back leg. One more breath here. And then planting both hands down, top of the mat, step back, high plank. Exhale, lower through press. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Taking 5 more breaths. And then inhale, sending left toe tips up towards the ceiling now. Pointing the toes down towards the floor, pushing out through that heel. Exhale, step left foot up towards the top of the mat. Inhale, fingertips up towards the ceiling, back leg is straight. Grounding down through that back heel, taking left elbow onto thigh. Inhale, arm up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, stretching fingertips away. And then planting both hands down, stepping back, high plank. Exhale, lower through press. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, rolling back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, sending left, right foot up towards the ceiling. Stepping that foot up towards the top of the mat. Dropping down into that left knee now. So we're working a little deeper into that left hip. If this feels strong enough for you, then stay here. Otherwise, interlace those fingers behind the back. Allow that slight arch through the spine. So rolling shoulders back here. Still breathing nice and deep. From here, we're going to tuck those back toes under, send the arms up towards the ceiling again. With control, coming up to our high lunge position, and then stretching fingertips forward. We're going to shift all of our weight forward onto that right foot now, straighten out through that right leg, and point those left toes, try to parallel that back foot off towards the floor. You can either stay here or keep the right fingertips grounding down into the mat, sending left fingertips up towards the ceiling. If this feels all right for you, then you can reach back, catch hold of that foot, and again, you're actively pushing the foot towards the ceiling, the back of the room, rolling that shoulder back here. Releasing that foot now, taking fingertips back down towards the floor. We're going to walk the fingertips into that right leg, folding into our leg, and sending those left toes nice and high. One more breath. And then planting both hands down, top of the mat. Step that left foot long down the mat. Step the right foot back to meet it. Exhale, lower through press. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, rolling back, downward facing dog. We're going to send that left leg high straight away now. Exhale, step that left foot up towards the top of the mat, dropping down into the right knee. So again, working into that hip, either staying here or interlacing fingers behind the back, roll the shoulders back. And then tucking the right toes under, sending fingertips up towards the ceiling, coming up to our high lunge position before reaching those fingertips forward. Keep that back leg straight, keep pushing out through that back heel. And then with control, launching yourself forward, straighten out through that left leg, point the right toes, parallel that right foot off towards the floor. Again, either staying here or sending right fingertips up towards the ceiling. You're allowing that hip to open out a little more here. Maybe staying here or maybe reaching back, catching hold of that foot, and then rolling hip and shoulder back. Push that right foot towards the ceiling if you're doing this. One more breath. And then taking fingertips back down towards the floor, walking them back towards that left foot, sending the right foot nice and high, standing splits. And then planting both hands down, stepping right foot long down the mat, left foot goes back to meet it. Exhale, lower through press. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths now. Checking that the feet are hip distance apart, hands shoulder width apart, trying to sink those heels down towards the mat. And then on the next inhale, sending that right leg high, this time opening out through that hip. So you're sending right knee up towards the ceiling, left foot, right foot over towards the left side. Keep both arms straight, still thinking about belly being pushed towards the thigh. And then either staying here or pivoting on the feet, grounding down into that left hand, sending right arm back behind you. Lift those hips nice and high. From here, planting that right hand down again, we're going to shoot that right foot over towards the left. Send the fingertips up towards the ceiling, pushing down actively through that right hand now. One more breath. And then planting hand down, stepping back high plank. Exhale, lower through press. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, sending left leg high towards the ceiling now, opening out through that hip. Either staying here or pivoting on the feet, ground down into that left arm, send right fingertips away from you. And then flipping back over, sending that left foot over towards the right side, sending fingertips up towards the ceiling. Planting hand down, step back, high plank. Exhale, lower through press. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just take 5 breaths here. If you want to walk out, bending knees, then do that. Do whatever feels intuitive for you here. Don't have to hold it static. And then on the next inhale, looking forward in between the hands, step to the top of the mat. Find a nice deep squat position, so belly resting on the thighs. Try not to change the depth in that squat as you take the hands to the knees, straighten out through the arms, and then inhale, arms overhead. Make sure that the pelvis is tucked here, either staying here or coming up onto toe tips. And then from here, coming to stand. We're going to hug that right knee in towards the chest now. So really grounding down into that left foot, standing nice and strong in the left leg. Release the knee, take the hands to the hips, point those right toes out in front of you. And then with control, we're going to send that right leg back behind us, finding that T shape in the body. Coming up, coming forward again, sending that right leg forward. We're going to do this a couple more times. So just flowing between that extension of the leg, backwards and forwards, really focusing in on our balance, using our core to help us find some control here. And then coming to stand, we're going to switch legs now. So grounding down into that right leg, hugging the left knee in towards the chest, standing nice and tall. And then releasing that knee, sending left leg away from us. Point those toes, really engage that thigh. And then from here, again, sending left toes back, teeing the body off towards the floor. Sending toes forward. Really focusing in on that balance. One more time. And then coming to stand. Stand at the top of the mat. Inhale, arms up overhead. Hook thumbs, arch spine. Exhale, hinge from the hips, folding forward. Plant both hands down. Stepping back to a high plank. Exhale, lower through breath. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. And then in your own way, just make your way to come and sit on the mat. Legs stretching along down the mat. So even though we're seated here, we're still engaging the legs. We're flexing the toes towards us, sitting nice and tall. We're going to inhale, straighten through the spine, and then exhale, folding forward. If you can take hold of the feet, then do that. Your helping yourself to draw yourself a little deeper here. Otherwise, you can take a belt or a strap around the top of the foot, give yourself something to hold on to. With each inhale, thinking about lengthening through the spine. With each exhale, thinking about folding a little deeper. And then taking hands back behind you, underneath the shoulders, pointing same direction as the feet. You're either going to come up into a reverse plank position here, or slightly easier, bring the feet in towards you and push up into a reverse tabletop. So whichever version you take, making sure you hold it for about 3 breaths. Feet flat down on the floor. And then releasing down. This time we're going to draw the left leg to the inside of the right thigh. We're going to take the left hand over the outside of that right foot. This frees up our right hand to draw us slightly deeper into the pose. So we're trying to feel that nice stretch down the left side of the body. The right fingertips are helping us feel that stretch by just creeping forward with each exhale. Coming to sit, we're just going to switch sides now, so sending that left leg long, bringing the right foot to the inside of the left thigh, right hand to outside of left foot, and then left hand is free to draw us deeper into the pose. In your own time, just make your way down onto your back on the mat, hug the knees in towards the chest, just gently rocking side to side. Just finishing up with some bridges now, so taking feet down flat on the mat, and your options are either to keep your hands down by your sides, squeeze your hips up towards the ceiling, staying here for 5 breaths, or interlacing fingers behind the back, rolling onto the backs of the shoulders, lifting your hips a little higher. Staying here for 5 breaths. Or if you want to work still a little harder, you're taking hands either side of the shoulders, and then on the next exhale, pushing yourself up into a full wheel position. Again, holding it for 5 breaths. And then gently coming back down, hugging the knees in towards the chest again. Before sending that left leg long down the mat, we're going to draw the right knee all the way over towards the left side. Send the right fingertips towards the opposite back corner of the room. And then just making a few big circles with that right arm, trying to keep fingertips in contact with the floor for as long as possible. So really working into that nice shoulder rotation. A few one way, and then a few the other way. And then just switching sides, so sending that right leg long now. Right hand to outside of left knee, drawing yourself over towards the right side. Fingertips reaching away from you. And then again, making a few big circles with the arm. Going back the other way. And then just coming back onto your spine. Now sending both legs long down the mat, arms down by your sides. Just spend a minute or two here, scanning the body, noticing any tightness, tension that you're still feeling. Softening the breath and just using that breath to try and let that tightness, tension go.